We haven't done a tea tasting in forever. We're excited about relaxing. And this is the tea we're going to be tasting today. Kangaita, I guess. It's a black tea from Kenya. So this is what the leaves look like. They're pretty black and not bad. You see this one here is a nice rolled one. They're smaller size, but they're a good size for the type of tea they are. I decided to do 3 ounces because the pieces are so small rather than the traditional 5. Well, this was kind of a surprise. I was thinking it was brown, but I really think this is more of a mahogany color on my spectrum that I have of tea colors. It's rather pretty. Here's what the tea leaves look like. I pulled a few out. They are starting to unravel. They look really nice. Don't see any sticks, which is awesome. I see some leaves that aren't fully uncurled yet that give the impression they're sticks, but it's just because they've not uncurled yet, and that means I've got plenty more steeps. Here are my tasting notes for the Kenya Kangaita. I am not sure how to pronounce that. I'm probably saying it wrong. I bought it from a Camellia sinensis website out of Canada. The tea tasting was March 4th, 2023. It's a black tea. Here is the map of where it is located. You can see in red here. It's from the Rift Valley. I wasn't sure the significance of that, but I read that over and over. And it's grown from the same variety as India's famous black teas of Nigeria. So looking at the country of Africa, this right here is where Kenya and this particular tea garden are located. And from the website, it says the black tea from Kenya was cultivated in the Rift Valley. There we go again. This was significant to me, from plants of the Assamica variety. Now, I normally do not like teas from Assam, but I actually thought that this one tasted good for a black tea. It said it's transformed using the orthodox method, which is odd for this reason, that is accustomed to producing more CTC, or cut, tear, curl. So that's why I was seeing these tea leaves that were whole, and that's what that's trying to explain, rather than the really little bitty pieces like you see in tea bags. There's how they described it tasted. I don't think I quite got that. This I found interesting. I found on the internet many of the world's famous brands, such as Lipton, Tetley, and Twinings. Now, we've always all heard of those, and I'm sure a bunch of others, blend Kenyan teas with other teas from other parts of the world to come up with their branded blends. I mean, everybody recognizes a Lipton tea, you know. So, but they apparently use this tea as part of their blend to come up with their flavor. And I thought that was very interesting. The aroma, In the dry, it was too faint to smell anything. That was quite interesting, but I have had this tea a little while, so I don't know whether that's my fault or that's just the tea. I did get the traditional lychee, which is in the fruit category, or the muscatel raisin. I was trying to pick up a soft floral, but that was only in the smell. I never got that in the tea tasting. The Camellia Sinensis.com website has these flavor wheels on there, and I really find those helpful. And so they gave it a fruity and a really woody. Now, my husband kept saying woody, so that's interesting, and earthy. So this is where they see the flavors of this tea. I don't know. I don't think I didn't pick up much woody. But here's my color spectrum, and you see I picked the mahogany. At first I thought it was brown, but I did decide it had more of this red tint on it. The body was medium. Astringency, bright light. I've figured out that that's the category I like most, so that might be why I liked this tea. I've learned I really like oolong teas, and I really do not like black teas a whole lot unless I put sugar in them, and I don't want to use sugar. So the second steep, though, was a little more tannic and astringent, but it wasn't bad. It didn't go where the balsamic teas normally go for me. It was just a nice traditional black tea, very palatable. It agreed with how it smelled, that lychee taste. After about the fifth steep, we purposefully left it long, and we were surprised that it was a forgiving tea. At least it was forgiving at only 3 ounces in the Gaiwan. Now, if I'd used the 5 ounces, that might have been not so forgiving. I had trouble with the finish a little bit. I think most of the experience that I got in drinking this tea was in the finish. At first, it was very juicy and mouth-watering, but then it followed up with this tannic and drying and lingering, and so most of the taste felt like it was in the finish. And so I put 3 hearts, which does not mean that it's bad. It just means that I'm not a big fan of black teas, and it takes a lot for black tea to get a lot of hearts. So I think this was actually a pretty good tea, and I'm surprised at how it did, being the variety of tea leaves or tea plant that it is. And so I'm okay with it. I would buy it again. Wouldn't and have to be able to keep it on hand to get a love it.